First round action in the 2025 Concacaf Champions Cup continues from Mexico City as Cruz Azul of Mexico hosts Real Hope of Haiti, leg number 2. After last week, Cruz Azul went on the road and won 2-0. Happy to have you along this evening. Joe Malfa with you for the action here in Mexico City. Slight chance of rain throughout the evening here at Estadio Olímpico Universitario, where Cruz Azul are hoping to just cruise to a victory here. Already up 2-0 on aggregate, coming back home. One of the giants of Liga MX and Concacaf. A club that has plenty of success in this tournament, the 6-time champions of this tournament, a three-peat spanning the 60s and 70s, 2 more in the 90s, and their last one in 2014. They had a Real Hope side in the opening round here who turned some heads, surprised some folks, and ended up 3rd place in the Caribbean Cup last year to make it into this tournament. Fought valiantly and showed some bright spots in the opening leg before succumbing 2-0 against Cruz Azul. Cruz Azul has played 5 matches against teams from Haiti in their time in Champions Cup, 4 wins and a draw. And Cruz Azul is the only Mexican team that Real Hope has faced. So not much history between these two teams, or between Cruz Azul and teams from Haiti in general. A club, Cruz Azul, that goes all the way back to May of 1927, coming up on their 98th anniversary. So much history, 25 trophies against the club in Haiti that was just founded in 2014. And there was a terrific story done on them this past week by John Arnold, and talking about their origin and speaking with the owner of Real Hope. He started it with the intention of exactly what the name says, to bring real hope to the people of Haiti. So it's terrific for them to be here. It's a gargantuan task on the road, down 2-0 on aggregate against Cruz Azul, but the second leg between Real Hope and Cruz Azul is coming up.
Demos la bienvenida al Club de Fútbol Cruz Azul y Real Hope FA para el partido de esta noche de la Copa de Campeones Concacaf. Demos la bienvenida al Club de Fútbol Cruz Azul y Real Hope FA para el partido de esta noche de la Copa de Campeones Concacaf.
ready to meet the starting lineups for both Cruz Azul and Real Hope ahead of their second leg fixture here in the first round of the 2025 Concacaf Champions Cup. A 2-0 victory last week for Cruz Azul has them in terrific position here as they return home for this second leg, and away goals do factor in. So this Real Hope side is going to have to either win 2-0 and hope for extras from there, or have to take it in a victory on the road against the number 3 ranked team in CONCACAF, Cruz Azul. Real Hope number 111. Upcoming schedule for Cruz Azul has a very difficult road ahead in Liga MX, where they're currently in 4th place after winning 3 straight. And their lineup looks like this for head coach Vicente Sanchez. It's Andres Gudinho in goal. Anchor in the back line, Gonzalo Piovi, with Eric Lira coming into the starting 11 at center back. On the left side, Mateusz Bogusz comes in after not appearing last week in the first leg. And up top, Gabriel Fernandez and Angel Sepulveda lead the way for Cruz Azul. You see Bogusz there on the left side. Big acquisition this window, coming over from LAFC, the 2023 finalists here in Champions Cup. He was a part of that LAFC run to the final 2 years ago, now taking the field for Cruz Azul. Captains meeting for the coin toss and meeting the officials as well. Julio Luna of Guatemala leads this all-Guatemalan crew with Luis Ventura, Humberto Panjos, and Sergio Reyna. Captain for Real Hope, Johnson Judy meets Andres Gudinho. Johnson Judy is the regular captain for Real Hope. Look in the VAR room. Benjamin Whitty, the Cayman Islands, Chris Penso of the United States, your VAR referee and assistants respectively. And now the 11 for Real Hope. It's once again Uli Elion in goal. The 24-year-old Haitian had a start for Arcaille of Haiti back in 2021 against Cruz Azul, and has started both legs now. Going into the midfield, see what this looks like. These players could line up basically anywhere. Johnson Judy you expect at the 10, but Exilus and Interville could be on either wing, flip-flopping throughout the day, with Stanley Joseph up top. A lot of fluidity in this Real Hope front 6 as the day goes along. And Denso Ulis comes into the 11 after not appearing in the first leg. A player who has experience in the United States, spent some time with Seattle Sounders and Inter Miami, has been called up by Haiti a few times, waiting for his senior debut. He'll be at right back, Denso Ulis. Never know in this tournament. We've seen some upsets already. It's a difficult task to go on the road and accomplish it, though, for Real Hope. Against the odds, down 2-0 on aggregate against Cruz Azul, who are in the blue from left to right, Real Hope in the red from right to left, and we're underway in Mexico City. Happy to have you along this evening. I'm Joe Malpa. Second leg of the first round Champions Cup tie between Cruz Azul and Real Hope. Took a little while to get going last week for Cruz Azul. That opening goal came 38 minutes in, belonging to Sepulveda, again starting here tonight. The second goal came late, 84th minute, own goal. Like this, Cruz Azul would like to dust it off early and often. Look at it here, loose in front, saved off the line. First dangerous opportunity comes just a minute in for Cruz Azul. Elion makes a save, gets some help from his back line on the goal line. Montaño. Bogusz goes for goal. Such a dangerous player, Bogusz. He's played as a false 9 previously. Slotted in as a 10. Come off the wing, could do it all really. And here's a look again at that save off the line by Peterson Pierre. Cruz Azul have won 3 straight in Liga MX after opening the season with 2 draws and a loss. And goals have been pretty easy to come by for Cruz Azul as they gear up for their first corner of the evening. 4 straight games in all competitions in which they've scored multiple goals. In that span, 10 goals scored, 4 goals conceded. Starting to hit their stride here in the month of February. Coming off a 2-1 win over the reigning Concacaf Champions Cup winners in Pachuca. From the corner to the penalty spot, loose in front again. And cleaned up by Elion. Just getting it into the dangerous areas early here, Cruz Azul. Just 3 days ago, that match I mentioned, Cruz Azul 2-1 over Pachuca. So certainly a difficult week of a lot of games. Bogusz just behind him as he was ready to break free. Montano put a better ball into his path, and now Real Hope on the counter. Led by Interville, played ahead here. Gathered by Godinho. Too much on it, looking for Stanley Joseph. End to end here in the first 3 minutes. Real Hope have nothing to lose. Expect them to just be going for it whenever they can on these counters. It's always interesting at this early stage of the season for a team like Cruz Azul, between this competition and their domestic schedule, how much they go hand in hand. Yes, it's difficult to navigate the waters of playing every 3rd day. This today is their 6th game in 16 days, so rest is very hard to come by. But so much of what you do here can bleed into your performance in league play, so you want to keep the momentum going. Another early look comes all the way across to Rivero. Ignacio Rivero. Garcia all the way back for Piovi. Bogusz. Campos. A lot of familiarity down that left wing. Omar Campos and Mateus Bogusz both coming over from Los Angeles FC in the offseason from MLS2 Liga MX. You could expect a lot of this as well tonight. Very heavy possession expected on the side, of course, of Cruz Azul. Garcia. Cruz Azul as the runners-up of the Clausura last year, happy to get back here to Champions Cup after a 2-year hiatus. Now it's Campos with some options, feeds it in front, ball loose there for the taking once again. Rivero a step too slow. And again a counter from Real Hope, led by Interville. Looking for some support in the box, ends up as a Real Hope throw. It's their first ever CONCACAF Champions Cup appearance. Their 4th official CONCACAF club competition, Real Hope. They've gotten lucky so far early. A lot of those in front begging to be finished off, but not quite bouncing the way of Cruz Azul. Real Hope, their 3 previous appearances in Caribbean Cup, their best finish was this past year when they won the 3rd place playoff against Moca FC in the Dominican Republic. And that match back on December 3rd to clinch that 3rd place spot. When was the last time they played a match before last week's first leg? And after tonight, there's nothing official on schedule for Real Hope ahead of any sort of domestic season beginning, which has been scarce over the last few years between COVID and civil unrest in Haiti. They were able to get some competition in 2024, which Real Hope lifted the trophy in. Bogusz calling for it. Exilus stays down for now. Stumbling on his line is Godinho. It's back to his feet. It's Stanley Joseph cutting in. And it will be a corner. I was wondering if the assistant referee would pop the flag. That initial ball in had been offside. He managed to hold his run. Exilus, and now a corner for Real Hope. Exilus. Down 2-0 on aggregate, Real Hope. Any opportunity like this has to come with some capitalization. A foul before anything can come of it. Earlier tonight saw Monterrey a 3-0 victory over Forge, the Canadian Premier League side. 5-0 aggregate victory for Monterrey. They will make it through and face the winner of Saprissa Vancouver, who begin their tie next week. Whoever comes through this tie between Cruz Azul and Real Hope will get the winner of Antigua, Guatemala, and Seattle Sounders, beginning their first leg next week. Space for Interville. Rafa Interville, lively in this first half down that right wing, lost his footing. Bogusz. Campos. Center for Sepulveda. All the way through for Rivero, and he slices it wide. Another instance where the ball just came all the way through the 18, either just behind a Cruz Azul player, waiting for somebody to pounce on it. Rivero did the best he could from his angle and distance. Just feels like a matter of time for Cruz Azul, based on the spaces they're getting into. Faravelli gave it away. Saint-Fleur, Interville. Similar to last week, Real Hope having their bright moments, but can they capitalize and make one count? That was the issue last week when they played their quote-unquote home leg. They're going to play in Dominican Republic. It's been their quasi-home amid the civil unrest that we've seen in Haiti over the last couple of years. And we've seen terrific play from the teams from Haiti who have come into Champions Cup to bring some sort of stability and sense of joy and happiness and hope, pardon the pun, to the people of Haiti. Even a couple of years ago, seeing Violette upset Austin of MLS in the opening round before losing to the eventual champions Club Leon in the next round. Garcia. Calling for it down this right wing, Rivero. Nobody rotated over. He had a lot of space there. If they wanted to play long. Now Bogusz frustrated that he didn't get a long ball. Piovi. Faravelli. 31-year-old from Argentina, started the first leg as well. And it was his Champions Cup debut, Faravelli, last week. Player with plenty of cup experience in Sudamericana, Libertadores. 46 appearances, 9 goals, 7 assists. Now in just his second Champions Cup match. Up back and through for Rivero. Centering, he's taken down. And it will be a free kick here on that late follow through on the tackle from Peterson Pierre-Louis. And not much question about that. Very late. Leon sets his wall. Two-man wall to make sure there's nothing snuck to the near post here. Quick two-touch, now curled in. Nothing there for Cruz Azul. Sepulveda. He's taken out. Cruz Azul wants a free kick. Seemed like the referee, Julio Luna, was slowly bringing the whistle to the mouth, but thought better of it. Four shots to one so far in favor of Cruz Azul. Possession heavily tilted, nearly 70-30. Bogusz, heavy touch. Switch to Campos. Trying to unlock Real Hope. Through for Fernandez. Gabriel Fernandez. Mateus Bogusz. Still Bogusz. Lays it off. Touched through by Rivero. And a late offside flag comes up on Cruz Azul. The most promising, intricate passing link up they had so far in and around the 18. And Bogusz, no doubt, offside. Bogusz, mentioned it earlier, somebody that you could really move all around the chessboard as the match goes along. Could play on the left, the right, could play as a 10, has played as a 9, where he was a goal-scoring machine out of nowhere for LAFC last season. He really had some issues finding a consistent number 9. That's why they went out and got Olivier Giroud, and even he struggled once he arrived. Bogusz filled in at that position and scored 15 goals. The first time he'd ever fully played that position in his career. Parlayed that club success into his first 2 appearances for Poland on the national level. 2 appearances back in the fall in Nations League. Turville tracks it down, keeps it in. And a throw for Real Hope. Obviously still loads of time in a sport where anything can happen here. As Vicente Sanchez looks on, I think everybody is going to come away from this impressed by some of the talent of Real Hope and the way they've not withered against this Cruz Azul side, only allowing 2 last week, showing some threatening moments offensively. And that's already been the same theme here in the first 18 minutes again. Scooped in, looking for Joseph. Won by Michel. Who against Michel stepping through off of Rivero to Exilus. Exilus end line, squares it back, and it's cleared away by Campos. Don't know if it had enough on it to end up getting over the line, or if Godinho would have had a crack at it. Slowly, tantalizingly trickling there for Real Hope. It might have. If it didn't spin wide, I think it might have beaten Godinho for pace. Just a matter of the placement. Rivero looking at Bogusz, making the run. Bogusz waiting for it. Doesn't make it there. Sepulveda. Heavy touch. Wasted from Sepulveda. 33-year-old scored in the first leg. Has bounced all around Liga MX in his career. Godinho just had to do whatever he could to prevent it from going out for a corner. 28-year-old goalkeeper, only making his 26th start for Cruz Azul. He's never really been the main first-choice keeper. This is, though, his 4th Champions Cup start. He's been the cup keeper at times. Releasing through Fernandez. Bogusz finds him. Again, heavy touch from Fernandez. How many times is that through 20 minutes where it seems like Cruz Azul is on the cusp of breaking through, but a pass is behind a player or a touch is missed? Just haven't fine-tuned it enough. Which is a bit surprising, and you wonder if it's some of the fatigue factor setting in. Match number 6 over the last 16 days for Cruz Azul. Because otherwise, they've been a well-oiled machine. 10 goals in their last 4 games. 4 straight games in which they've scored 2 goals or more. Although some might go back and look at those games and say, well, they scored 10, they probably could have had 20. Still working through some of those early season issues of fine-tuning things in the final third. And again, that's what some of these games early in this tournament are for, not to diminish it in any way. The gap between a club like Cruz Azul and Real Hope is massive. You see it in the rankings, you can see it in the expenditures and every aspect. Floated to Sepulveda, flicked on, and there's the opener. He scored in the first leg, and now Sepulveda opens the scoring in the second leg. Cruz Azul 1-0 on the night, 3-0 on aggregate. Just felt like a matter of time. One of those runners finally split through and made it count. Brilliant ball. Flared over the top by Mateusz Bogusz, who will get credit for the assist. Bogusz in his Cruz Azul Champions Cup debut had an assist in 4 appearances en route to the final 2 years ago with LAFC. And Sepulveda adds to his tally. It's his 22nd career goal with Cruz Azul, the club that he joined in 2023. He's been around the block in Liga MX. Querétaro, Morelia, Chivas, Atlante, Necaxa, Tijuana. Stop me if you've heard basically every team up and down the roster of Liga MX. He's been around the block, Sepulveda, and he's scored everywhere he's been. Tonight, it's his 488th professional appearance, and he marks it with his 102nd professional goal. I'll give it away, though, carelessly at the back. Picked up by Stanley Joseph. Cruz Azul looking for more. Played in toward Bogusz, settled, looking to double the lead. It's deflected and out for a corner. They're 15 minutes ahead of schedule from where they were in the opening leg. Getting the goal earlier here tonight. Sepulveda again. He's looking for another. Player down for Real Hope. Against Michel, 31-year-old, made 2 starts for Violet back in 2023. That team that upset Austin and then went on to lose to Club Leon, the eventual champions 2 years ago. Corner swung in, headed on back post. 2-0 Cruz Azul. Brilliant flick out at the near post, and easy finish at the far post. Sepulveda has 2. The lead is 4 on aggregate. Right there, that flick on. Perfectly executed by Rivero. An open net for Sepulveda. Not the easiest of finishes on second look. Had that awkward in-between volley. But a player of Sepulveda's caliber going to finish that 9 times out of 10. And he does. His second of the night. Second in just 3 minutes. To add to his goal from the first leg. And the aggregate is now a nearly insurmountable 4-0 in favor of Cruz Azul. Walensky, Joseph. Over the top for Sepulveda. Bogusz latches on. Bogusz. Fernandez. Fernandez, and it's under the arm of Elion. Fortuitous for Cruz Azul. Snowballing out of control for Real Hope. 3-0 on the night, 5-0 on aggregate. All it took was that opener from Sepulveda, and the floodgates have opened here. Just a misplay by Elion. Fortunate for the Haitian keeper. Was their starter throughout Caribbean Cup. Only allowed 8 goals through the tournament with 3 clean sheets. At times has had to come up big for Real Hope under a barrage of shots. Now, something to just keep in mind as you go through this now. For Cruz Azul, again, it's just the fact that they're trying to get things clicking for their domestic campaign as well. Now, the goal differential here not going to come into play. I think later in the tournament, when we go about the preference for who hosts when we get to the final, that is based on a table that starts from the round of 16 onwards. So it's not like they're playing for goal differential here to try and beef up their priority and maybe hosting a potential final later in the tournament. Cruz Azul, there's obviously no goal differential or aggregate to worry about anymore. This is well in hand, up 3-0 and 5-0 on aggregate. But there is that aspect that you see time and again for teams in this tournament early on when there is this much of a mismatch in the matchup. Cruz Azul would like to run this up to 7 if they can, if it means that they're going to iron some things out that will help them when they turn the page and go at Tigres 4 days from now. So don't expect Cruz Azul to let up necessarily. They're not playing toward a table. They're not really going to benefit based on the score in that regard. They will benefit from every minute there between those lines, what they can hone and tighten up ahead of a difficult slate ahead. I mentioned at Tigres 4 days from now, and it's at Santos Laguna. They round out the month at home against Querétaro, then at Mazatlan. Eight shots to 3 in Cruz Azul's favor. Sepulveda with 2 of the goals. Drops it back for Piovi. Bogusz well onside. Kept on by Pierre. Bogusz lays it off. Sepulveda lurking. Fernandez turning. Taken down. Play on. And now Fernandez called for the infraction. Back to Gudinho. Hasn't had much to do. Sepulveda flicks it through. Bogusz, and now the flag comes up. Just a reminder of what's at stake here in Champions Cup, beyond, of course, just lifting the trophy and the glory that comes with that. Whoever wins this tournament will be the first Concacaf club to qualify for the next Club World Cup. That's in 2029. Of course, have the Club World Cup coming up this summer in 2025, and the 4 teams playing from Concacaf that qualified through this tournament are Monterrey, Seattle Sounders, Club Leon, and Pachuca, by virtue of being the last 4 Concacaf Champions Cup title winners. So whoever wins this tournament will be the first to punch a ticket to the next Club World Cup 4 years from now. Whoever wins this tournament will also qualify for this year's FIFA Intercontinental Cup. First of its kind, started last year. Ended up pitting all the different champions of all the different Continental Cups against each other in a bracket-style tournament. Pachuca ended up advancing all the way to the final, where they lost to Real Madrid. So Concacaf already had early signs of success in that newly constructed tournament. Take place in December of this year, the 2nd edition. Half an hour gone, it's Cruz Azul up 3-0 on Real Hope. The goals came in very short order. 21st minute, Angel Sepulveda. 24th minute, Angel Sepulveda. 26th minute, Gabriel Fernandez. 3 goals in 5 minutes to turn this from what was maybe still a questionable 2-0 aggregate into an insurmountable 5-0 aggregate in favor of the home side, the Mexican Giants, Cruz Azul. Piovi. Gonzalo Piovi, in his 2nd year at Cruz Azul, has played every minute of the Clausura. Spent the bulk of his career in Argentina with Racing. Campos, well taken off the chest. Cut off by Ulis. And a late offside flag as well. Tried to get himself back on side, Campos. A little bit too late in his efforts. out here. Leon already had the one gaff. Went under his arm. Now Bogusz off the careless giveaway. Mateusz Bogusz, no stranger from shooting from distance. Scored a number of his goals at LAFC like that. Fernandez slipped through, deflected, open goal there, and missed! Ignacio Rivero will have nightmares for weeks. He's got a wry smile on his face because it might mean nothing in the grand scheme of things in this tie. Imagine that's in a more hotly contested matchup down the line in this tournament. One of those that's harder to miss than it would have been to make. Sure, he'll have ample opportunity in this one to rectify it. Already does have an assist. Rivero. They don't come easier than that. Though I guess that goes to show there is nothing truly simple sometimes in this sport. Bogusz, once again, very active in this first half. Bogusz. Sepulveda looking for his hat trick here in the first half. Sepulveda wins a corner. Garcia takes. Wide open header is put wide from Sepulveda, unmarked. See a lot of finger pointing there in the box from Real Hope. Nobody went with the man who has 3 goals in this tie. 1 last week, 2 tonight. Had Leon frozen to the spot. Beat the keeper, but beat the post as well. Having trouble, Real Hope just playing through this midfield of Cruz Azul. Just overloading that midfield at all times. Pinching in both wing backs, dropping in Mateusz Bogusz. Numbers advantage everywhere you look in the middle of the park. Rivero. Oh, brilliant ball over the top from Rivero. The backspin, though, ended up hurting Eric Lira, making his run off the back line. The center back also doubles as a defensive midfielder, so have to keep an eye on him as well, stepping up off that back line. The 24-year-old, one-time Liga MX's best 11, Eric Lira. Faravelli. Sepulveda. Over to Campos. Campos blocked. Turville. St. Fleur. Ulis all the way across. Exilus won't get there. Rivero racing to get there. Perhaps trying to make amends for a colossal miss a few moments ago. Closing in on halftime here in Mexico City. Cruz Azul did all of its damage in the span of 5 minutes from the 21st to the 26th. 2 for Sepulveda, 1 for Fernandez. Exilus here for Real Hope. Won cleanly by Cruz Azul. Montaño. Campos releasing through, finds its way there after the deflection. Bogusz wants it, Bogusz has it. Bogusz waited too long. Montaño, Bogusz can make amends, Fernandez, Sepulveda, Fernandez, a step too slow. Rivero. Clipped over the top, Rivero, flag stays down, looking for Bogusz. Leon has it. Player injured here for Real Hope. Getting the referee's attention to stop things. It's Peterson Pierre-Louis going down again. Second time we've seen him down. Capped at the U20 level for Haiti. Starter in the U20 championship a couple of years back. Made 7 starts for them in the Caribbean Cup last year. Chance for the rest of the group for some hydration and to chat things over with the head coach, Harry Lewis. Corner coming for Real Hope. They had one already earlier on. Nothing really came of it for Real Hope. In fact, a foul was called before the ball even made it into a dangerous area. That ball came out before it went in. So 2 corners for Real Hope, where before anything had a chance, the play's dead. 1 for a foul, 1 because it went out, then in. And the winner of this tie, we can start going ahead and talking about Cruz Azul in that manner, up 5-0 on aggregate. It'll be Antigua or Seattle Sounders next up in the round of 16. Already tonight saw Monterrey punch its ticket through over Forge, 5-0 on aggregate like this one here. Given away though at the back here, looking for a goal back, saved on the line by Godinho with the left hand, denying Exilus. And the call is for a penalty here for Real Hope. Great save made there by Godinho. Right there on the clearance effort. Ending up getting the back of the foot before the ball, clipping Stanley Joseph. Should it stand, barring a check and a change of heart from the officials here, an opportunity for Real Hope to score its first ever Concacaf Champions Cup goal. It has not been an easy stretch of time in Haiti, to say the least. 1 minute of stoppage time tacked on. There's been so much talked about in the country about soccer being a beacon of hope. Saw it with Violet and their upset 2 years ago. Seen it with some of the performances on the international level. Down 5-0 on aggregate, yes, but for a small club like Real Hope, in their first ever Champions Cup, a chance for their first ever Champions Cup goal. Angelo Exilus at the spot for the historic moment for Real Hope. Exilus denied. Andres Godinho slams the door shut. Remains 3-0 Cruz Azul. Stayed on his line. Kept that right foot behind the line. And there's the whistle to end half number 1. Eventful to say the least. Cruz Azul netted 3 goals in the span of 5 minutes. Real Hope had a chance to get one back at the penalty spot in the lone minute of stoppage time. Denied by Godinho. Sepulveda has 2. Fernandez has 1. Cruz Azul has 3. And they lead 5-0 on aggregate here in the first round of the 2025 CONCACAF Champions Cup. More to come from Mexico City. A look at stats in the first half. It's very one-sided. The score indicates it. 12 shots to 4, 5 on target to 2. Decided possession advantage for Cruz Azul, who will lead it 3-0 on the night and 5-0 on aggregate. Players back out on the pitch to begin half number 2. It's 3-0 Cruz Azul on the evening and 5-0 Cruz Azul on aggregate. Joe Malfa with you for the action here. Leg number 2 of this first round matchup between Real Hope of Haiti and Cruz Azul of Mexico. And it really went how we expected in that first half. One-way traffic in favor of Cruz Azul. Dominated the possession nearly 70-30. Outshot Real Hope 12-5. And had those 3 goals come in a 5-minute span. Real Hope had an opportunity right before halftime to bring a goal back on a penalty, but Andres Gudinho made the save for Cruz Azul. The damage was mostly done by Sepulveda. He had a brace in that first half. He scored last week as well. Had a couple of other opportunities for Cruz Azul. And he netted twice in the span of 3 minutes in that first half. We'll let you know momentarily on any changes at the break between these two clubs. Just waiting for the okay from our official, Julio Luna, to get things going in this second half. Already saw Monterrey win 3-0 earlier this evening over Forge. Put them through on aggregate 5-0. It's the same thing here, 3-0 on the night, 5-0 on aggregate. Cruz Azul from right to left in the blue, and Real Hope from left to right in the red. Away we go in the second 45. Bogusz takes himself out of the play. He's offside. Sepulveda's not offside. He continues to give chase here. And Leon hesitating and gets it away. Interesting what this second half may look like. Remember, there is no push for Cruz Azul to consider goal differential. Some of you may remember from years past, we talk about that results table and the goal differential and the points earned. All of that stacks up from the round of 16 onward when it comes to determining who may host the final. It's played through here for Campos. The first round, where we are right now, before the round of 16, it's not included in that table. Bogusz squares it back. And it's a corner for Cruz Azul. So that's not something to keep in mind in the calculus of will Cruz Azul push for more and run the score up. So with that being said, it could be a lot of just passing it around and working on some things for Cruz Azul, though at the same token, they want to keep things humming along, where they've won 3 straight in domestic play, 4 straight on their way to 5 straight in all competitions. You don't want to take your foot off the gas and risk setting into any sort of lethargy, costing your team the momentum that's been built over the last few weeks. Corner to the back post, and a foul called against Cruz Azul. Bogusz with space. Bogusz flicks it through. Fernandez deflected. Corner. Montano on the ground. Some set play here comes all the way through to Bogusz. And they'll recycle it all the way back with Eric Lira. And now Gudinho resetting entirely Cruz Azul. brings a bite and experience to this back line, Piovi. It's his first crack at Champions Cup play. Just joined Cruz Azul last year. They missed out on this tournament in 2023 and 2024. Back in it now for the first time since 2022. Six-time champions, Cruz Azul. They three-peated 1969, 70, and 71. They won 2 in the mid-90s, and they last won it in 2014, just over a decade ago now. Real Hope preparing a trio of substitutions now. I wonder what Aaron Lewis, the head coach, saw in these first 5 minutes. Already leading him to make this change. Oftentimes you'll see managers wait till maybe 10 minutes into the second half to make a change like that. Trying to spark something, though, for Real Hope. Now Bogusz commits the infraction. Here come those changes for Real Hope. It'll be Steve Mondestin coming on, as well as Watts Lizard and Ellison Deuce. So Ulis comes off for Watts Lizard. Stanley Joseph off for Ellison Deuce. And the last of the bunch, Rafa Interville, who had a terrific first half in terms of his danger created and popping up in some big moments. Steve Mondestin takes his spot. Montano gets it back from Sepulveda. Montano. Caravelli looking through for Sepulveda. Brought down by Exilus, who had his penalty saved at the end of that first half, now fouled. One cleanly by Montano. Here's Sepulveda with Bogusz. Sepulveda rifles it over the bar. Was looking for his hat trick. Races a right-handed apology. Most players sitting on a hat trick will take that themselves, but ball across to Bogusz might have been better suited. Player down now for Real Hope. referee made an indication that it's a head injury as well, so some concern here as they call for the trainers. Trio of changes being ready now for Cruz Azul. Looks like they're getting some of the younger players in as well. Brian Gamboa, 22-year-old. Carol Velasquez looks like he's ready as well, the 19-year-old. Pierre Lewis back to his feet. Looks like he will actually stay out there for now. Has to come off for a moment because the trainers came out, but doesn't look like he's ready to be subbed off. He looks like he's going to run right back out there as soon as he's beckoned back on by the referee. Faravelli. Campos looking in behind. Campos take a touch off of Mondestin. It did. Corner for Cruz Azul. Bogusz. Too much on it. Those changes being ready now by Cruz Azul, and it will be 3 of their young players to come on. Jose Suarez, the 18-year-old, will be making his first team debut. Carol Velasquez, the 19-year-old, will be making his first team debut. And Brian Gamboa, the 22-year-old, will be making just his 9th appearance for the first team. All those players coming on now for Cruz Azul on a night where they're up 3-0, and they have a 3-0 aggregate lead, a chance to give some of the young up-and-coming talent a look in Champions Cup. Bogusz will depart for Brian Gamboa. Piovi will come off for Carol Velasquez. And it will be Ignacio Rivero departing for Jose Suarez. Strong night at the back for Piovi. Whenever anything did come his way, he dealt with it well. But now we will see actually a substitution on the other side as well for Real Hope. It seemed like Pierre Lewis was going to trot right back out there after he was looked at moments ago, but Mason Colo will replace. Back to the departures here for Cruz Azul. Mateusz Bogusz ends up with an assist. Ignacio Rivera ends up with an assist. Both of those players assisting on the 2 goals for Angel Sepulveda. And Piovi again, a solid night at the back. Wasn't tested much, but when he was, as solid as can be. A well-earned rest for Piovi, who played every minute so far in the Clausura and went 90 last week. Here in the opening leg. Down the right wing, flag will stay down here for Jose Suarez. In his debut, squares it back. Faravelli. Suarez. Lined up from distance. Oh, Cruz Azul having fun tonight. Andres Montano with the mountain of a strike, and they're up 4-0. Nobody stepped to him. About 35 yards out. A scorcher. That little peek up as he's gearing up to strike it. Got every bit of it. 22-year-old. Spent the first 4 years of his young career with Mazatlan, came up through their system. Joined Cruz Azul last year. That's his first career Champions Cup goal. He debuted in a friendly before Copa America last summer, earning his first cap for Mexico. Now wearing the number 10 jersey for Cruz Azul. Showing you a glimpse of that potential there on that strike. I need another look at that. You cannot hit it more purely than that. Curler here on the effort for Mondestin. Look, at the end of the day, it's not the name of the game you're playing to win, you're hoping to win. But if you're Real Hope, salvaging a goal out of this would mean so much still. First ever trip to Champions Cup. Winners of the trophy in their competition in Haiti last year. Tumultuous time for the country, and place where they really haven't had proper football for a few years. COVID interrupted things, and the civil unrest has further interrupted things. Really just seeing these Haitian teams pop up in Concacaf competition, and that's about it, with not much going on domestically. But throughout it all, whenever the clubs can play, whenever the country can play on the national team level, it's a beacon of hope, again, pardon the pun, for Real Hope and for Haiti. And a goal would feel something special, maybe something on here. Real Hope saved by Godinho. It was Deuce who had the chance. Exilus now couldn't shield it off. That was Lazard, excuse me, who had the opportunity for Real Hope. Godinho keeping the clean sheet. Now at the other end, Fernandez taken down. Going to use their last two subs here as well, Cruz Azul. I understand the circumstances here. They're up 4-0, 6-0 on aggregate. But to use your last two subs with about a half an hour remaining, still aggressive by Vicente Sanchez. Any sort of injury, you're going to leave yourself shorthanded. Not that it would really impact the result here. Just a matter of trying to keep guys fresh. You don't want to be playing down to 9 or 10 men in the event of any emergency here. Have guys running around a bit more, and they need to. Obviously, you have to just coach with the hope that everybody does stay healthy and things go smoothly. That'll be all for Faravelli, replaced by Alexis Gutierrez. Omar Campos off for Carlos Rotondi. Look at that save from Godinho. Again, such a special moment it would be for Real Hope to have that first ever Champions Cup goal. Had a penalty denied in the first half, had that moment there. Before the penalty, it was another great save from Godinho, remember, on the header from point-blank range. In the first half, it was Stanley Joseph with that opportunity. Well, Sepulveda still out there sitting on his hat trick and the 5 subs already used. So he will have 25 minutes plus stoppage time to complete said hat trick. Velasquez. Gutierrez back to Velasquez. Velasquez looking in for Sepulveda. Flag stays down for now. Watch Lazard. Lazard, he goes down. On the turn, Sepulveda slots it through, flag stays down. Slapped away by Elion. Rolled through for Rotondi. Brilliantly timed run. Rotondi centering. Fumbled for a moment by Leon. Took a deflection on the entry ball in. 20 minutes to go. 4-0 Cruz Azul. 6-0 on aggregate. Joe Malfa with you from Mexico City for the second leg of this round one matchup between Cruz Azul and Real Hope. The Mexican Giants seemingly clearly on their way through. The question is what the final score will be. Chance to tack on here and we'll have a corner. On the turn, Wadensky. Still Real Hope looking to maybe salvage something. The special moment that a goal would bring. It's not quite the same analogy, but you'll get, I hope, what I mean. It would feel in a way as this one's clipped over the top. Flag stays down. Chance brewing here for Exilos. Saved again by Godinho. And the flag does come up now. Just getting ready to say, it would feel, if you remember a while back, when Tahiti went up against Spain. I believe the final score was 10-1, but the celebration that you saw from Tahiti and just that one goal and what it meant in that competition, similar here, what it would just mean for Real Hope. Another corner coming now for Cruz Azul. Carlos Rotondi puts it off target. Rotondi, the 27-year-old, did not play in the first leg. This is his Champions Cup debut. Joined Cruz Azul in 2022. Plenty of experience for Rotondi in other cup competitions. Libertadores, Sudamericana. A goal and 4 assists in 9 appearances between those two. Quarter of an hour remains. Flag will stay down for now. Fernandez coming in alone. Fernandez around the keeper. Fernandez has his brace. Gabriel Fernandez, the 30-year-old Uruguayan striker, subbed on for a half an hour last game, gets the start tonight and rewards Vicente Sanchez with a pair of goals. Just returned in the Apertura late on a few months ago after a torn ACL. He's made 6 appearances with 1 goal in the Clausura as he's working back up to full fitness, and he looks like he's in good form now. Rotondi times his run. Rotondi, corner on the way. Outswinger, and out for a goal kick. Another change coming now for Real Hope. That'll be all for their captain, Johnson Judy. Didn't really do much tonight. Didn't really have a chance to do much tonight. Player needs to be on the ball in the heart of the midfield. Just haven't seen much of the ball. Always been on their heels. He's replaced by Anthony Lucian. Knocked back for Velasquez. I mentioned it toward the end of the first half that this is what we could sort of see from Cruz Azul the rest of the way. Expect more goals simply because of the mismatch and because they're not going to pass it around for an hour plus. Opportunity still for them to just continue on to improve finer aspects of their game as they go through the early stages of their season. 3 straight wins in the Clausura, sitting among the top 5 in the early stages of the Liga MX table. Still no table implications in this competition yet, as far as potential hosting priority later in the tournament. There's still plenty incentive enough to keep the pedal down and tack on what it means for your team's confidence to see 5 go through. Opportunity, Lazard gets it back, deflected. Still, how much it would mean for Real Hope to get a goal and a corner on the way. 10 minutes to go. From the corner, nothing there. Flag stays down again for now. Sepulveda on the run. Sepulveda squares it back behind Rotondi. Have Sepulveda and Fernandez both sitting on hat tricks now for Cruz Azul. From here, Cruz Azul will go on to face either Antigua of Guatemala or the Seattle Sounders of Major League Soccer in the next round. As we look ahead at the calendar here in Champions Cup. The rest of this week, we will see tomorrow night Chivas hosting Ciudad for their second leg after a dramatic 1-1 draw last week in the first leg. Ciudad scored in the first minute of play, and Chivas scored in the last minute of play. There were 9 minutes of stoppage time given. They scored 90 plus 10, a little spillover from the 9 minutes that were given. Goal in the first minute, goal in the last minute, 1-1 draw. Chivas coming back home. And also tomorrow, we have Tigres at home, down 1-0 against Real Esteli of Nicaragua. So tomorrow night, two more Mexican teams hosting like we saw tonight for Cruz Azul and Monterrey. Both Cruz Azul and Monterrey took care of business. But they were already both in comfortable positions, up 2-0 from their respective first legs. Chivas and Tigres not in those same positions. 1-1 for Chivas, and Tigres down 1-0. And on Thursday in Champions Cup, it's Pumas hosting Cavalry of Canada. Another instance where it's a Mexican team at home in the second leg, and they're in some peril. Cavalry of Canada won the first leg 2-1 at home. So three very interesting matchups over the next two nights to round out this first week of Champions Cup play. Our first pass through, I should say. Chance here again for Rotondi, saved by Elion. The first set of first round matchups taking place last week and this week. And we'll go ahead to next week and see some more action with the MLS teams taking center stage. Look again at the save from Elion. A week from tonight, it'll be Sporting Kansas City hosting Lionel Messi and Inter Miami. And it will be the Colorado Rapids hosting LAFC. Also next week, we'll have Vancouver Whitecaps against Saprissa, Seattle Sounders against Antigua, FC Cincinnati against Motagua, and Real Salt Lake against Herediano. Off the bar here for Fernandez. So those are all the other first round matchups that begin next week. Second legs to follow. And then we'll have our round of 16 come the end of the month of February. Picked up by Gutierrez. Heavy touch. Mondestein. Flag stays down, Sepulveda in space. Leon read it well. You can see some of the frustration there from Sepulveda as he claps and drops ahead. He wants his hat trick, and he's had some opportunities. Fernandez, Sepulveda, both with 2 goals each. And then Andres Montano with the goal of the night. His lightning bolt from about 35, maybe 40 yards out on the slight diagonal. Slotted through for Rotondi. Another well-timed run. Rotondi chipping, saved. Played through for Sepulveda, flag stays down. Sepulveda round the keeper, Sepulveda turning. Sepulveda lays it off. The touch taken through, back to Sepulveda, trying to get him his hat trick. It's just not meant to be. Eric Lira, the wherewithal to try to get it back to him. Now Fernandez was waiting for it, and a corner coming. The moments where you pick to just have some of your fun on a night like this. Score hasn't been in doubt since the 25th minute. Just trying to get your strikers their respective hat tricks. Both Fernandez and Sepulveda sitting on those hat tricks. Outswinger flicked away. Lira. Montano. Well, flag will stay down for now. A lot of confusion there. Sepulveda denied. Sepulveda still battling here, commits the foul. The offside flag never came up. There were 4 players in the vicinity for Cruz Azul. To the naked eye, I think 3 of the 4 were offside, except for the one who got it in Sepulveda. And more credit to Elion had that gaffe in the first half that led to the Fernandez goal that made it 3-0. Both in this tournament and in the Caribbean Cup, he still made some terrific saves, the young goalkeeper. Mondestine, maybe one last chance here for Real Hope. Mondestine to the back post, oh, just over the head. No stoppage time necessary tonight. A thorough showing from Cruz Azul. 5-0 on the evening, 7-0 on aggregate, and Cruz Azul is through to the round of 16 in the 2025 Concacaf Champions Cup.
Estados Unidos ya no va a ser.
Ayúdame con uno nada más.
¿Estamos listos? Ok.
¿Vamos bien entonces? Sí, estamos listos.
Hola Claudia, compañeros, estamos aquí con el goleador de este partido, Ángel Sepúlveda, que anotó un gol en la ida, anotas dos goles en esto, se cumple el objetivo, están en octavos de final. ¿Cuál es la exigencia para Cruz Azul en este torneo?
Sí, bueno, hicimos el primer paso, ¿no? Que era avanzar de ronda, como mencioné anteriormente, respetando al rival, entregándolo todo. Sabemos que tenemos que hacer muchos goles también porque todo cuenta en este torneo, así que bueno, contentos y bueno, ahora a lo que viene, ¿no? Que se van a venir una seguidilla de partidos muy importantes para nosotros.
Y justamente de eso te quería preguntar, hay que ponerle las cosas complicadas al estratega, se vienen 4 partidos en 2 semanas y encima el próximo rival para ustedes son los Tigres. ¿Qué motivación te da esto?
Sí, no, obvio, nosotros tenemos que seguir demostrando partido a partido. Yo en lo personal me empiezo a sentir mejor, futbolísticamente a lo mejor no tenía el ritmo que quiero, pero bueno, vamos avanzando. Estos partidos nos ayudan para eso y bueno, quiero seguir aportando, ¿no? A Cruz Azul, que te digo, estoy muy contento, estoy feliz, estoy disfrutando y bueno, quiero hacer más goles.
¿Qué le dirías a la afición de Cruz Azul que está ilusionada de ver a esta máquina jugar de la manera en lo que lo ha hecho esta noche? ¿Tienen ya títulos de la Concacaf? ¿Se viene uno más?
Sí, no, nosotros vamos a ir paso a paso, obviamente a la afición siempre agradecerles por el apoyo, bueno, representarlos en la cancha, creo que eso es lo que queremos hacer, lo que estamos haciendo y bueno, gracias a Dios, te digo, primer paso, vamos por lo que viene.
Muchísimas gracias. Ahí están las palabras de Ángel Sepúlveda. Clau, regreso con ustedes.
Tengo que corregir eso porque no tiene que hacer el estudio.
Va a señal con tu USA, pero dime cuánto tardan, por si no...
Ya está.
Ya aquí.
¿Tu USA ya está? ¿No es esa? No, está cabrón, güey. No puede ser. Güey, ¿no tenemos cámara? ¿Cuál cámara? ¿No se puede que la graben con la unidad y la mano? Pero tenemos 30 segundos. No mames, si no la hago con el celular, güey. Okay. Si quieres, porque acá no me con el celular. Dale. ¿Me grabas, güey? No puede ser, cabrón. Tú me dices. Si quieres, Ángel. 3, 2. Ángel, gracias, felicidades por el doblete. ¿Qué repercusiones ves después de este 5-0? Un resultado favorable el cual les permite seguir avanzando.
A look at the full-time stats from the 5-0 victory for Cruz Azul over Real Hope. 7-0 on aggregate. Shots 21-9. Shots on target 8-5. Possession heavy advantage. It was one-sided. It was domination from Cruz Azul, expected for the number 3 ranked team in Concacaf against the 111th ranked team in Concacaf. Cruz Azul through to the round of 16. I'll look back at highlights from Cruz Azul's 5-0 victory on the evening, 7-0 on aggregate, and it started from the jump. They were dominant in possession, they were creating chances. Eventually you knew the goals would come, and right here, 2 minutes in, a save off the line. Otherwise, the goal-scoring party would have started a lot sooner for Cruz Azul. This already made it 2-0. It was the second goal of the night for Ángel Sepúlveda. It came 3 minutes after he scored his first. And from that point on, the rout was on. It would take just 2 more minutes to make it 3-0, and it came on a mistake by goalkeeper Uli Elion of Real Hope right here. Bounces under his arm on the strike from Gabriel Fernandez. We would hear more from Fernandez later on in the match. Struck it well, bailed out by the goalkeeper on what should have been a save. And at that point, 3-0. You could tell where this one was heading. No more goals scored in that first half for Cruz Azul. Almost, though, for Real Hope. Denied on the initial header in. A penalty on the ensuing action. And that penalty denied as well by Gudiño. Great goalkeeping by Gudiño. Made 3 or 4 just terrific saves in this one. 2 right there, back to back. And then this, the play of the evening. The strike from about 36 yards out. Montaño to make it 4. Just a blast. Perfectly struck. And Leon did all he could to try and stop it. Afforded too much space. And sometimes you just strike one as pure as can be. Another one over the top here to Fernandez. At the flag stayed down. Time to perfection. Round the keeper he went. And he rolled it in for his second of the evening. It made it 5-0 to Cruz Azul. And that is how things would finish on the scoreboard. A brace for Fernandez, who's working his way back up to 100% health after an ACL tear. And Cruz Azul takes it 5-0.
These are hard game for Real Hope today. What expectations? What is the learning of this tournament for you?
I say good evening for you, but it was a difficult game because the weather is different. I wanna tell something like, well, this was a difficult game. We wanna win, but unfortunately we lose. Okay.
Thank you. You can go to the locker room.
And that will do it from Mexico City, where Cruz Azul take it 5-0 on the evening, 7-0 on aggregate over Real Hope. They're through to the round of 16. They await their opponent. It will be either Antigua or Seattle Sounders. We'll find that out over the next couple of weeks. But for now, Cruz Azul through to the round of 16. For the crew that makes this possible, I am Joe Malpa saying so long for now from Mexico City. Thanks for joining us once again for action in the 2025 Concacaf Champions Cup. Good night, everybody.
Andrés, un gran partido para el Cruz Azul el día de hoy. Logran la clasificación a la siguiente ronda, goleando y gustando.
Sí, claro, fue un gran partido. Creo que nos fijamos más por lo colectivo que por lo individual. Fue un gran partido en lo colectivo y bueno, fue un gran resultado también y bueno, ahora pensar en lo que sigue.
Pensando en ese siguiente juego, ¿se vendrá a imponer esa historia que tiene Cruz Azul en el torneo?
Bueno, estando aquí en Cruz Azul sabemos que tenemos que hacer un gran papel en todos los torneos, entonces bueno, claro que saldremos a hacer nuestro mejor esfuerzo y nuestros mejores partidos también.
Gracias, felicidades.
Gracias a ustedes.
Listo, gracias.